Why you hate me sulfur monoxide much? Someone yelled. Because you fucking cheated on me, other one yelled. I didn't. Why don't you believe me? Someone asked. There's nothing left to believe. I hate you, Himon, other one said. Like I love you, Min Yungi. I hate you more, Himon said. They both went to their room. Author's POV. It's their daily routine to fight. They normally have fights. Himon and Yungi. Let's first introduce them. Himon is the only son of Park's family and he is 25 years old. Yungi is also only son of Min's family and he is 27 years old. In their college days they fell for each other and starts to date but ... One day Yungi was going to the park when he saw Himon in the park with a boy. He saw Himon was kissing that boy. He got heartbroken and run from there. After that he met Himon and he broke up with him. They were the most lovable and romantic couple in the campus. No one ever knew that they'll break up like this. Now they're married to each other. How? Let's see a flashback. With Himon. Appa, why are you sitting so worriedly? Himon asked. Nothing, baby, Mr. Park replied. Appa, tell me, what's wrong? Himon asked again. It's really nothing, baby, Mr. Park said. Himon held his father's hand and said, Appa, tell me, don't hide from me. I can't see you worried, Himon said. My business is going to lose, Himon, Mr. Park said. Note, Himon's mother already died when he was young. What? Now what will happen? Himon asked worriedly. One of my business partners said he'll help me, but Mr. Park said. But what, Appa? Himon said. He wants you to marry his son, Mr. Park said. Me. But why me? Himon said. His son seems to be depressed and they believe you can make him fall in love, Mr. Park said. Can I? Himon asked. I believe you can, but don't think about it. I won't let you marry him. I want you to live happily. Don't worry about business, Mr. Park said. No, Appa, I'll marry him and help you, Himon said. But son, Mr. Park said. No buts, Appa. I know how much hard work you did for this business. I still remember how you used to earn for me. You used to wash others' cars on road, Himon said. I saw you starving yourself and giving me food. Now if I can't do anything for you, then what's use of me? I'll marry him, Himon said. But son, you don't love him. How can you marry him? Mr. Park said. Love can happen after marriage, Appa, don't worry, Himon said. He gave a assuring smile to his father while squeezing his hands. Meanwhile, Yungi also agreed because he wasn't interested in anyone. They both didn't knew they're marrying to each other. They saw each other on the wedding day, but they couldn't say no. Himon because he wanted to help his father and Yungi because he still have feelings for Himon. He is just misunderstood by the situation. His heart still beats for Himon. Himon also loves Yungi, but he thinks Yungi hates him. Well, what happened on that day? When Yungi saw Himon kissing someone else, let's see a flashback. Here Himon was sitting in the park waiting for his senior, Himon's POV. Today a senior called me. I don't know why. He keep on coming behind me. To be honest, I hate him. I didn't told Yungi because I don't want Yungi to be worried. I really hate him. He keeps on chasing me. He buys me food and more.
But I never accepted his anything because I'm loyal with Yungi. Today he called me and I said I'm listening to him for the one last time.
If he bothers me again, I'll tell Yungi. End of Himon's POV. That senior came and sit beside Himon. Hey Himon, that senior said. Why you called me here? Himon asked. he took out a rose and said,
Jaemin, I really love you. Will you be my boyfriend? That senior asked. How many freaking times I've to tell you that I've boyfriend, Jaemin said. Then broke up with him because I truly loves you, that senior said. But I don't. I'm loyal to my boyfriend. Just shut up and go, Jaemin said.
He got up and starts to walk. Then when that senior fell and starts to shout, "Oh, my leg, that senior yelled. Himon rushed to him and said, "Are you okay?" Himon asked. That senior took the chance and kissed Himon. That's when Yungi saw everything and misunderstood. Himon pushed that senior angrily and slapped him. "How dare you? I'll kill you," Himon yelled. He was about to fight, but some people stopped them. That's how Yungi misunderstood the whole situation, and he never let Himon explain. Himon always begged Yungi to let him explain. But after being betrayed for second time, Yungi couldn't believe him.
Yeah, Yungi dated a guy before, but he also cheated on him. After a lot of struggles, Yungi came out of depression and fell in love with Jaemin.
But things repeated again and he became heartless again. End of flashback. "I wish you would believe me, but you didn't," Himon spoke while crying. He was hurt and sad. He really wanted Yungi to forgive him, but Yungi isn't forgiving him. He is getting punished for the son he never did. Himon don't have any evidence from which he'll make Yungi forgive him. Maybe one day Yungi will forgive him and they'll become like before. Meanwhile, Yungi was standing outside the room listening everything. What if he is really innocent? Yungi thought. But why my heart can't believe that Himon can't do this, Yungi said. "I need to know the truth," Yungi said. He went from there and came to the balcony. He came to the balcony and took out his phone. He called his hacker friend named as Jungkook. "Hey Kook, can you help me?" Yungi said. "Yes, young Jungkook said.
Can you give me all the information about Young Yejin? Yungi said. Sure, I'll find and send it in an hour, Jungkook said.
Thanks, Hyung, Yungi said. He cutted the call. After an hour, Yungi was sitting in the living room when Jungkook called him.
Hyung, I got all the information about him, Jungkook said. Great, send me, Yungi said.
Thanks, Yungi said. He cutted the call. He cutted the call and Jungkook sent him the information. He saw that boy's information and found his phone number. He dialed that number and called him. Hello, who's speaking? Yejin asked. Hello, it's your college time, Junior. I need your help. Can we meet at XXX restaurant? Yungi said. Sure, I'll come there within 30 minutes, Yejin said. Okay, thank you, Yungi said. He cutted the call and went out. In the restaurant, Yungi was sitting when Yejin came. What you want to talk about? Yejin asked. Hi, I'm Min Yungi, boyfriend of Park Himon, Yungi said. As soon as Yejin listened to him, he was about to go when Yungi held his wrist. Yejin, we are being misunderstood. I need your help. I promise I won't hurt you, Yungi said. Yejin sat back and said, But you guys already broke up, didn't you? Yejin asked. We did, but now we are married, Yungi said. Really? Yejin asked. Yes, can you tell me what happened that day? Yungi asked. Yejin took a deep breath and told everything to Yungi. I know you guys would never break up and you'll believe him, and Yejin said. Yungi was ashamed of himself and he looked down.
Yungi, wait, did you believe what you saw? Yejin asked. Yungi was ashamed, but he nodded his head. How can you? You should have believed your boyfriend instead of the situation. Is this what you call love? Yejin asked.
Yungi felt so much shame listening to Yejin. I know I did wrong, but back then I didn't have that much sense, Yejin said. But I believe that you guys won't break up, and even I said sorry to Himon. He forgive me, and you didn't believe him, Yejin said. I messed up bad, Yungi said. You really did, but it's still not too late. You can make everything all right, Yejin said. He won't forgive me now, Yungi said. He'll, Yungi. He surely will. I did worse and he forgave me. He'll forgive you, Yejin said. Yungi got a little motivation and said, I'll do everything to make him forgive me, Yungi said. Yes, you'll, and I believe Himon will forgive you, Yejin said. Thanks, Yejin. I'll go now, Yungi said. You're welcome, buddy, Yejin said. Yungi got up and went from there. Time skips at home. Himon was sitting in living room when Yungi came holding a cake and flowers in his hands. Himon, Yungi said. Himon looked at him and said, What? Himon asked. Yungi sat beside him and said, Today I met Yejin and ... Yungi said. So you finally know the truth, Himon said. Yes, and I'm sorry, Himon, Yungi said. Can your sorry heal my wounds? Himon asked. No, Himon, but I'm really ashamed, Yungi said. You know how much you hurted me, how much I cried for you, Himon said. You never know, Yungi, Himon said. He got up and went from there. Himon, wait, Yungi said. He got up and ran behind Himon, but his foot slipped and he fell from stairs. 𝐂𝐫𝐫𝐫𝐸𝐿, Yungi yelled. Himon rushed downstairs and said, Why, Yungi, Himon said. He immediately took out his phone and called ambulance. Time skips to the hospital. Gosh, what happened? I'm so scared, Himon said. He was trembling and crying his heart out. He still loves Yungi like before, no matter how much he got hurt. After some time, Himon father and Yungi's parents came. Wapa, Yungi, Himon said.
Baby, he'll be okay, Mr. Park said. After some time, doctor came out and said, His condition is serious, pray for him, doctor said.
Listening to it, Himon starts to cry more. Why, Yungi, Himon said. Baby, don't cry, Mr. Park said. Everyone was trying to calm Himon, but he wasn't calming. I promise, I'll forgive you, just don't leave me, Himon thought while crying. Time skips to the next day. Yungi didn't woke up till now and Himon was still crying. He was happy that Yungi know the truth and everything become all right. But this happened now. Here Himon was sitting beside Yungi, who was sleeping. Please wake you up, Yungi, Himon said. He was crying from yesterday. He wasn't coming. After sometimes he felt like Yungi moved his hand. He immediately rushed out to call the doctor. After sometimes he came back and saw Yungi's eyes open. Doctor checked him and said, He is all right now. Make sure to take care of him, doctor said. Thank you, Dr. Himon said. Doctor went out and Himon rushed to Yungi and hugged him.
You stupid. I hate you, Himon said while crying. Yungi laughed a little and said, I thought you loved me now, Yungi said. You know how much you scare me, Himon said. I'm sorry, Himon, and please forgive me now or else, Yungi said. Or else what? Himon asked.
All fell from the stairs again, Yungi said. Himon broke the hug and pulled Yungi's ear harshly. I'll cut your tongue, you man freaking, Yungi, Himon said. Babe, I'm sorry, please forgive me, Yungi said. Himon left his ear and said, Fine, I forgive you, but believe me next time, not the situation, Himon said. I promise, I'll believe you only, Yungi said. I understand you got betrayed before, that's why you didn't believe him and said. Let's forget everything and starts to live happily, Yungi said. Himon bent to Yungi and they both kissed each other. That's how they starts to live happily with each other. The end. Forgiving doesn't mean forgetting, but forgetting is necessary for future happiness.